Okay, so for those of you who don't know, I do spoiler anime reviews with the Unknown Knight. Now
See how fucking stupid that is?
Hey. But we're now putting these on my channel, so you can... So come to my channel whenever you want to hear more ridiculous jokes about anime. Hey.
What? No, don't do it.
Well, now on to the big stuff. What are we talking about today?
We're talking about Dragon Ball Z.
The myth, the legend. Okay, it's not that much of a...
Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Z GTYAF. Dragon Balls.
Yep.
Dragon Ball, Drogon Ball, and Babin Ball.
Okay. For many of people, this is the anime that sort of was the beginning for many of us, but in its own way kind of marked the beginning of the end, because this also created most of the negative stereotypes.
Yeah.
Like, I sort of feel a lot of people blame Pokemon and Sailor Moon for a lot of it, but I think a lot of it started with DBZ. I mean, I think most people pretty much just sold Sailor Moon off as selling dolls and Pokemon selling a video game.
Hey, action figures.
Yeah, whatever. Wait, they're for girls.
Action figures.
Okay. No, fine. But, in reality, like it or not, this series did so much for the anime community, and in return, really so much for the world. This is one of the anime that if you go anywhere, people know what it is. For better or for worse.
Even though it was like, well, it's pretty much, well, according to a lot of people, even though they're wrong, it's like the anime that created the let's make stupid moves, and then it has stupid name, and then blah.
Oh, no. James Bond movies started that long before. So how did you come across this thing for the first time?
I grew up in the time of Dragon Ball Z. Yeah. I just never got into it. Dragon Ball Z was the kind of thing that was like, I mean, it's a show. But then I just didn't wanna. And to be fair, I was the same way with Pokemon. Like, I hated Pokemon, and then I was like, fuck, I like Pokemon now. So, but I didn't watch Dragon Ball Z growing up in like the 2000s upwards. But then, as soon as they announced that they were rebooting it in Kai, I was like, you know what? I'll watch it, and I fucking loved it. Like, I'm one of the few people that like Kai. That, you know, a lot of people don't, because it just shits on the original. I'm like, why? All they did was just update the voice actors, and that's it, pretty much, you know. But I mean, it's pretty much the exact same. I liked Dragon Ball Z when I watched it for the first time, which was Kai. But besides that,
I remember vaguely being really little, and they had actually a daily, early in the morning, like before I went to school. I think they had it on CBS. This was back when like Polaris was in charge. And I vaguely remember seeing like the Namek saga on that. But then I remember getting into Dragon Ball when I got my first TV, which was being aired on Toonami in the afternoon. And then I really started, ironically, the series I started watching the most was the Buu saga. But I think most people can agree is when DBZ was starting to get tired. Yeah.
Like right now I'm watching the Japanese Kai of the Buu saga. And yeah.
Well, let's be real here. DBZ's for children.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm tired of people always thinking just because something is for kids means it can't be in...
For kids.
Oh, trust me, they never got their hands on this one.
What? Dragon Ball?
Yeah.
They did Dragon Ball Z Kai.
Well, no, they aired it on their block, but the voice acting was still done by Funimation.
And they made Popo blue.
That was weird.
And they made the Halos fucking spheres of light.
Yeah. Saturday morning cartoon blocks. Maybe that's why Saturday morning cartoons are dead.
Because for kids, most likely, yes.
And also, you know, constant kid exploitation media.
Yeah.
But no, but I think it's important to remember with Dragon Ball just how important. Like, what do you think of the first Dragon Ball?
I never watched the first Dragon Ball.
Really? I love Dragon Ball. I'm one of the few people. It's my favorite of the.
I've seen snippets of it. It just doesn't interest me to watch it. Dragon Ball Z is the only one that I ever would watch. Yeah. Because it goes. Dragon Ball is the one everyone grew up on. Dragon Ball Z is the one that everyone who grew up on Dragon Ball watched. And then GT is the one that no one gives a fuck about, because it's not canon.
Well, it's also like I said, DBZ got tiring by the Buu saga, so when GT showed up, nobody cared.
Yeah.
And on that, GT's boring.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Everyone's invincible.
Because fucking Toriyama never did it.
Yeah. It takes itself way too seriously. It's nothing but just Goku going pink monkey the whole time. And also Super Android 17.
Yeah.
I'm saying that looked stupid, and that whole arc made no sense.
Yeah.
But that's sort of the fun of DB and DBZ. It doesn't really need to make sense. When you think about it, the whole thing is really convoluted.
Yeah, like a kid who was sent from a planet of warriors was sent to Earth to conquer it. But after that, the planet was destroyed by a fucking alien overlord. And then he hits his head, and then he forgets what he was sent to do, and he becomes good. And then they go collect the Dragon Balls, and he meets this blue-haired girl who he wants to bang. Well, everyone thinks he wants to bang. Let's be honest. Bulma, your balls are gone. So, then it cuts to him having a son, and then his son gets taken from him by his fucking apparent brother.
That was done for shock value.
Yeah.
Brother.
And then he goes to like fight him, and he dies, and he goes to the afterworld. He meets King Kai, and then they fight the Saiyans, and he almost dies again. And then they go to Namek, and then Namek blows up.
And Gohan does most of the work.
And then Cell comes along, which actually, my favorite arc in the entire series has to be the Android Saga. Just because it has introduced my favorite character of all time, which is fucking Trunks. Well, adult Trunks. Fuck Kid Trunks. Literally. Fuck him. He's so annoying. But, and then they kill Cell. Well, Gohan does. Then Gohan pretends not to be a serious fighter. Then he goes to high school. Then
because anime.
And then these fucking like this magician guy and the Demon King comes along. And he's like, "Hey, take your energy." And they're like, "No!" And then they do. And then the fucking pig, the fucking pink big guy comes along and he's like, "I'm a kid." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then they do shit and then stop.
It definitely does.
Did that do it for you?
Yeah, that's basic plot somehow.
Okay.
It always sort of bugged me that Goku was the one everyone loved. When I always felt like Gohan was the one who was really doing stuff.
Because Gohan, well, at least in my eyes, Gohan was just like, we get it. He has a bunch of untapped potential and he's very powerful. We get this. But after you've grown up with Goku from Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z, and then they just immediately want you to like Gohan more than Goku, which is why they did the whole, oh man, Gohan's here and he's gonna be the key feature into helping us defeat the Saiyans. Oh man, Gohan's here, he's gonna be the one to defeat Cell. Oh man, Gohan's here and he dies. Well, doesn't die. Now he's in the Kaioshin realm and whatever. So just the fact that they want you to like Gohan, but after you've been with Goku for so long, it's just like, we get what you're trying to do, but we're still gonna stick with Goku.
It worked with me. I never thought much of Goku. Well, it's like they do a lot of things with him that kind of gets on my nerves. Like, I hate, like, you know, after a while, it felt like his only motivation was just to fight a stronger opponent, and that kind of gets old.
Well,
it's like with the androids, and it's like, we can find them now and stop the future from being bad. He's like, but I want to fight them.
No, that was Vegeta.
No, he said that too.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
I don't remember that. It was a long time ago.
It was sort of like with Gohan. Gohan always felt like more of a complete character to me. I know the ultimate goal was to kill Goku and then make the story about Gohan. That was the goal from day one, but he was always too nervous to like pull the trigger and just do it. So that's why we kind of kept getting that half-assedness where Goku would always just show up at the end and wreck shit. Which is why he doesn't show up till the end of the Saiyan fight, why he doesn't show up till the end to fight Frieza.
Well, he doesn't show up to the end of the Saiyan fight because they wish him back, and then he has to go all the way back from fucking Snake Way, back to fucking the place, and then he has to go back to Earth. He has to summon Nimbus, even though he can fucking fly.
Yeah.
Which I never understood.
When did he learn to fly?
He always had the ability to fly, but he just apparently Nimbus is faster. I'm like, why is Nimbus faster? So, whatever. And then he has to go back to Earth. Then he has to call Nimbus, and then he has to. Actually, no. He has to go to Earth because Kami has to bring him to Earth. Then he has to call Nimbus, and then he has to fly to where the fight's happening. So it's like he doesn't know instant transmission yet, so he can't just be like, there. So
Goku was like the ultimate deadbeat dad when you think about it.
Yeah.
Like first again, like he dies, yeah, and he dies knowing full well he's gonna come back to life anyways. But then it's like then he's gone training on an alien world for for what, like a year or two?
Yeah.
And again, we never know how Gohan and Chi-Chi are able to survive, like how they get money, because we never see them like farming or anything, so clearly they don't do that. They're just magically able to always be okay. And then he's gone again, then he's dead again, and then he leaves to train some little, I'm sure some sort of, in some way, racist Indian stereotype kid.
Yeah.
And then he leaves again to go off into space and the balls go in him.
Well, because fucking what's his name? Who tried to do the the black star balls? Because he had to go into space because otherwise the Earth would blow up.
No, I mean at the end when like the 7 Shenron dragon things are beaten and he just leaves again for no reason. Again, Dragon Ball doesn't hold up entirely.
But that Bulma's panties wish though.
Yeah, that was good. Stuff like that was good. I mean, let's be honest. This was meant for.
To be fair, Akira Toriyama didn't want Dragon Ball Z.
No.
So, the fact that fucking Oolong's wish for Bulma's panties would have been the last wish on the Dragon Balls is fantastic.
Yeah. Well, because apparently, if I'm correct, his big thing was he never thought it was going to last as long as it did. His goal was just keep writing as long as they would pay him. Which, to be fair, that's kind of the mentality most American comic writers have. And that's kind of what you need on the one hand. And again, Dragon Ball was meant more to be fantasy comedy than anything else. So, of course, then when you get into Z and more emphasis is put on the action, but there's so much filler that